Okay, so let's continue with the discussion. We were in the discussion of DB-scan clustering algorithm. Okay, density-based clustering I have already discussed the basics of density-based clustering, and DB-scan is a very specialized form of density-based clustering, right? So DB-scan stands for density-based spatial clustering of applications with noise. I already discussed about the disadvantages of DB-scan as well as the advantages of DB-scan over the partitioning methods like k-means. Okay, k-means clustering. So DB-scan clustering is fully relies on a density-based notion of cluster, right? So a cluster is defined as a maximal set of density connected points. A density-based cluster is such kind of clusters which is defined with a maximal set of density connected points. Okay, maximal set of density connected points. That is maximal with respect to density reachability, which I already discussed. Density reachability, density connectivity, I already discussed. So DB-scan searches for the clusters by checking that epsilon neighborhood of each point in a database. If the epsilon neighborhood of a particular point P contains more than the minimum number of points, then a new cluster with P as a core object is created. That is the job. What I have said, the density-based clusters, it first finds checking the epsilon neighborhood of each point in a database, right? If that epsilon neighborhood of a particular point P contains more than minimum number of points, min PTS. Okay. If the epsilon neighborhood of a point P contains more than min PTS, then a new cluster with P as a core object is created. Okay. And DB-scan does this iteratively, collects directly density reachable objects from these core objects, which may involve the merge of a few density reachable clusters. Okay, so one cluster merging the other cluster, which I already discussed in the previous slides. So this cluster merges this cluster merges this cluster. Okay, so these points of this merging cluster are density connected with each other, and the process terminates when no new points can be added to any new cluster. Okay, the process terminates when no new point exists to be added to any clusters. So discover clusters of arbitrary shape in spatial database with noise, which I already told. DB-scan is mainly suitable to discover clusters with any kind of shape. Okay, whereas k-means is unsuitable to build a cluster of arbitrary shape. Right. So this is a density base. These are called core objects, which I almost discussed, and this is actually the border. Okay, and border is generally made with the help of epsilon. Okay, and these are considered as outliers. Okay, and this is actually contains the minimum number of each and every cluster will contain the minimum number of points. Okay, you understood that thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are the clusters which are density connected. Okay. Now DB-scan requires two parameters which I already discussed, epsilon and min PTS. It starts with an arbitrary starting point, just like k-means. It starts with an arbitrary starting point that has not been visited yet. It then finds all the neighbor points within that epsilon distance of the starting point. যে starting point থেকে শুরু হচ্ছে তার epsilon distance এর মধ্যে যে কটা points থাকবে, those points will be taken care of as a neighborhood point, right, within that epsilon distance. If the number of epsilon neighbors is greater than the mean PDS, even in this way, it will collect the neighbors or the neighboring points which support that epsilon distance. And if the collection of the number of neighboring points is more than that mean PTS, then a cluster is formed. Very good. The starting point and its neighbors are added to these clusters. So starting point and neighbors are added to the cluster, and the starting point is marked as visited. Okay. The algorithm then repeats the evaluation process for all neighbors recursively. প্রত্যেকটা points এর যে neighbors থাকছে প্রত্যেকটা ক্ষেত্রে it will repeat the same process iteratively for all the neighbors recursively. Okay, for all the neighbor points. If the number of neighbors is less than mean PTS, the point is marked as noise. যদি যে point গুলো neighbor এর মধ্যে পড়বে না, less than the mean PTS. Okay, it doesn't support the mean PTS parameter. It simply marks that point as a noise or outliers. If a cluster is fully expanded, then the algorithm proceeds to iterate through the remaining unvisited points in the data set. That means all points within reach are visited. Then the algorithm proceeds to iterate through the remaining unvisited points in the data set. Okay. Now let's check one example. Let's check this example where I actually implement DBScan along with a incremental one. Okay. So incremental DBScan is very much similar to incremental k-means. Okay. New points will be inserted and the distance from the new points will be calculated. So here, in case of incremental DBScan, let's check the example first. The rest of the things you can read it out. So this is an example which I already showed here. These are the number of points. For sake of simplicity, I have assumed here one-dimensional point. Okay, number of points has been given into a free space. Okay, and initially we assume two clusters. I already discussed this. The algorithm has already told you that initially we have to assume clusters. So arbitrary starting point has to be assumed. Okay, it starts with arbitrary starting point. So arbitrary starting point means two cluster means 2 points. We will assume two arbitrary points from this range of points has been given to you. Also assume that the points 15 and 82 are the core objects of the two clusters. So আমরা কোন কোন point নিলাম 15 and 82. These 2 points I have assumed here as a core object, a starting arbitrary point. Okay. Now form cluster properly using DBScan algorithm. Okay. And these are new 2 data has been inserted, means for the incremental one. We will come it later. And for this example, we will consider epsilon as 1 centimeter and mean PTS as 4 number of minimum number of points as 4. Okay. For this example, we have assumed it, right? Okay. Now 15 is the core points of the first cluster. You have seen in this figure. 15 is the core point of the first cluster, and 82 is the core point of the second cluster, cluster 2. Try to understand. These are the core objects or core points, right? Now we will check based on the EPS and minimum number of points. We will inserting the other data that are neighborhood of that cluster. So we'll assume the epsilon is 1 centimeter. Suppose this cluster radius is 1 centimeter, and also the cluster is the radius corresponding to 82 points is also 1 centimeter. Right? This is also 1 centimeter. This is also 1 centimeter. Right? Now, here each and every cluster supports the condition of minimum number of points. I think you have understood that thing. Each and every cluster has a total number of neighborhoods which is greater than or equal to mean PTS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Greater than or equal to mean PTS. So it is equal to mean PTS and this is greater than mean PTS. Right? So these two cluster has been successfully formed because it supports both epsilon neighborhood as well as mean PTS concept. Right? So this is the initial cluster, and these two objects are not part of any clusters, and we never ever make a DBScan cluster with the help of these 2 points because it does not support the mean PTS condition. So obviously these 2 points will be treated like an outlier or noisy point. I think it is clear to everyone, right? Up to this, is it clear to everyone? প্রত্যেকে বুঝেছো এই জিনিসটা example? Is it clear to everyone up to this? Hello, is it clear to everyone?
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose 2 new data is coming. Now we are inserting into incremental DBScan concept. So these 2 new data has been coming or inserted into the existing database. I have already told that incremental DBScan, incremental clustering means it actually apply on a database which is constantly changing, which is constantly updating. That means a new data can be inserted or the old data can be deleted. So here this 56 and 125, these 2 new data has been inserted into existing database. So when the 56 data is inserted, what we will do? The new data will be directly clustered by the calculating the minimum distance between the data and the core of it. Look here, I did not do any kind of mean or median calculation. It is not k-means or k-median. So here we are not considering anything about the mean or median calculation. So while the new data is inserting like 56, we'll directly calculate the distance from this new data from the core of these 2 clusters. That means 56 minus 15 and 56 minus 82. And remember, we are using here Manhattan distance, right? So these 2 distance we have calculated, and the distance which is the minimum, the data should be part of that cluster, right? So from first cluster distance value is 41, and from the second cluster distance value is 26. So minimum distance value of 56 from the second cluster. So then 56 is clustered into cluster 2. As is satisfied that distance between 56, 82 is less than equal to EPS, obviously 56 কে কিন্তু এই epsilon এর মধ্যে থাকতে হবে। That means while you are plotting the value, এখানে দেখানো হয়েছে কিনা, yes, it is shown here. While you are plotting the value 56, okay, one more example is showing here. Okay, this is another example. So this 56 should maintain but the 56 should be part of cluster 2 if it will maintain this epsilon radius condition. তবেই কিন্তু part of it. That means while you will plot 56 into this free space, suppose 56 টা এখানে plot হলো, suppose 56 has been plotted here, কারণ এখানে x আর y axis দিয়ে তুমি একটা 56 plot করলে, one dimension of the xy axis just একটা 56 plot করলে, and that 56 is outside of this epsilon of this cluster. So that 56 cannot be part of this cluster. That 56 will be treated as outliers. 56 টা outlier হিসেবে treat করা হবে। Okay, so that 56, the new inserted data should maintain this epsilon property, and your entire cluster should maintain the mean PTS property as well. So that same concept will be applied for the next inserted data. This is 125, and next inserted data will be part of the again the second cluster. This 43 is the minimum value. So cluster 125 should be support this logic, because 125 is a larger one. So 125.82 should support greater than epsilon. Okay, distance between these two is there. Otherwise 125 is now treated as an outlier. So the distance, it doesn't support 125 টা অনেক বড় হয়ে যাচ্ছে, so it doesn't support the radius of epsilon. So 125 will be treated as an outlier, but 56 টা এই radius টাকে support করছে, so that's why 56 will be treated as a part of the cluster 2. But 125 is larger than the EPS, so it cannot be treated as part of the cluster 2. It should be treated as an outlier or noisy data. Now, one thing that I need to tell you, in such a way, while you are forming the clusters, suppose you are forming the cluster and these data, look at this figure very carefully, all these data are actually outliers that actually generated from the new incoming data, and these clusters are unable to insert those data due to some epsilon property does not support. So that's why these data are not able to insert in any one of these clusters. But these data are very close of each other. যখন তুমি এটাকে plotting করছো, these 4 data are very close to each other. So while you will get a flow 4 data with a very density reachable from each other and very close to each other, that means you can form a minimum PTS, you can satisfy a minimum PTS cluster condition here. Okay, but all these 4 data are actually working like outliers compared to this cluster and this cluster, but they are very density reachable from each other. Okay, so you can form a new cluster here along with these 4 data, which supports an EPS condition as well as the mean PTS condition. And this cluster is called a cluster of noisy data outliers, which is also working like a cluster. It is also working like a data cluster, just like these 2 clusters. But this is a new cluster has been formed automatically by collecting the noisy data outliers with each other. বুঝতে পারলে? Do you understand this concept?
Yes, sir.
Anyone has any doubt regarding this concept? This concept is very, very important. Very, very important. বইয়ে কিন্তু এই কনসেপ্টটা পাবে না। This concept is very, very important, that the data points which are not part of any one of these clusters, the data points which are acting like outliers from any one of these clusters, they are collecting together and itself make another clusters. Okay, because they are density reachable from each other and they support both EPS neighborhood concept as well as the mean PTS constraint. So they actually form a cluster, and that is called a cluster of noisy data cluster of outliers. It is also acting like a normal cluster, normal data cluster, just like cluster 1 and cluster 2, but virtually we can say it as a cluster of noisy data or outliers. Okay, I think it is clear to everyone, right? Anyone, any confusion, any problem, please ask me. Any confusion? Yes, Arindam, raise your hand. Ask me. Any question?
No, sir. No.
Okay. in next class, I will discuss about this code, basics of the code and some of the cluster quality mapping, cluster validity, how we can checking the quality of our clustering results. So at a clustering result, quality these are the indices that we are using to check the quality of cluster. I mean, just halka to discuss code regarding those indices. Actually, you can directly apply these indices in your code to discuss about the quality of clusters. Okay. So in the next class, I will show you the code and then I will discuss about the indices. Now, the advantage and limitation of DBScan, that is the last topic that we need to discuss. The advantages of DBScan, that DBScan does not require knowing the number of clusters in the data prior as opposed to k-means. That means there is no need of initial guessing of cluster centers or cluster means. Just like k-means in DBScan, it's not required there. But there is a disadvantage of requiring the initial guessing of mean, PTS, and epsilon. Okay, the two parameters. DBScan can find arbitrary shape of cluster, which I already discussed. Okay, it can even find cluster completely surrounded by a different cluster, and due to mean PTS parameter, the so-called single link effect, okay, is reduced. Now, DBScan has a notion of noise, but it is able to handle noise or noise out. How it will able to handle noise, I have already showed you in the form of cluster. So we did how it will able to handle noise. Okay, and they can make a cluster of noise itself if it will support both constraints of mean PTS and epsilon. Okay. Now it has also some limitations. DBScan can only result in good clustering as good as the distance measure is in the function of gate number. The most common distance metric used in Euclidean distance metric function, especially for high dimensional data, this distance metric can be rendered almost useless. Okay, high dimensional data, DBScan is not very good. That's why the high dimensional clustering is there. Okay, and because in case of high dimensional data, if we use a Euclidean distance measure or Manhattan distance measure, all these distance measure will fail for high dimensional data. Those distance measures are useless. So obviously, DBScan, k-means, k-medians, all are generally based on the concept of these distance measure matrices like Euclidean or Manhattan. So obviously, all these clustering algorithms are not suitable for the high dimensional data, right? And DBScan does not respond well to datasets with varying densities. Okay, and that's why we'll call higher. Suppose the dataset has a defined density, varying density. So for those cases, DBScan is not suitable. Okay, and then one more point you should add here that I forget to add here, that DBScan is DBScan needs an initial guessing of EPS and mean PTS values, which is sometimes reduce the compactness or quality of clusters. So this is also one limitations of DBScan clustering. So what are the applications? There are various applications DBScan clustering algorithm. I think you can go through it. Okay, and apart from DBScan, there are other two algorithms are also part of density-based clustering. One is DENCLU, and another one is OPTICS. Okay, so this is all about our DBScan clustering technique. So in the next class, I will